Welcome to another video. This time we are using the symmetric concept for describing hybridization. In the earlier video, we have discussed about the transformation properties of atomic orbitals. In this video, we'll be talking about how we can decide the sigma bonding in terms of symmetry aspect. And for this becomes very important to understand how SALC, that is symmetry adopted linear combination of atomic orbital, works. Well, basically, the hybridization is nothing but mixing of atomic orbitals of appropriate energy. And after mixing, they produce equivalent number of orbitals, and they direct in the space so that they acquire a specific geometry. And therefore, the symmetric considerations are, of course, very important. So here is your instructor, Saurabh Makhtur. To understand the hybridization involving a sigma orbitals, we'll talk about a D3 asymmetry for AB3 type of molecule as an example. We know with the general classical example is boron trifluoride, the triangular flat molecule. And it has as many as 12 number of symmetry operations that includes identity, two-fold rotational axis, three-fold rotational axis, C31, C32, and horizontal plane of refraction, and improper rotation, and three vertical planes of reflection that we have studied earlier. And with the 12 elements, this is the place where these symmetry properties may be located. So C3 is perpendicular to the molecular plane, while C2 axis have been described as here, which are collinear with, of course, the vertical planes. In the case with reducible representations, we know we have been doing it as a regular practice that the character of reducible representation of symmetry operations is equal to the number of unshifted bond vectors. And in such a case, we'll take again a D3H character table as a reference, where it has an A1 prime, A2 prime, E prime, A1 double prime, A2 double prime, and E double prime are the irreducible components. And the character table is going to help us to decide which atomic orbitals are going to actually hybridize or mix or combine. To obtain the set of reducible representations, as in example, identity, it has three bond vectors and all of them remain unshifted. C3, which is a vertical axis, is passing through, which is perpendicular to the molecular plane. When it is done, all the bonds are moved. When you talk about C2, which is perpendicular to C3, both one central atom and other B type of atom are involved. So one bond vector remains unshifted while the rest of them get shifted. So it contributes 1. When you're talking about sigma H kind of plane, all the three bond vectors remain unshifted, so contributes 3. S3 is, of course, rotation followed by reflection, C3 followed by sigma H, and in that case also all are going to be get reflected. And vertical plane, only that plane which involves the central atom and one of the atom that contributes and that remains unshifted, and therefore it contributes to 1. So we have got a set of reducible representations which are in fact possibly can be decomposed into their irreducible components. And here is the value of reducible representation for unshifted bond vectors. We generally know that when it comes about the decomposition of a reducible representation, comes about a general formula which says that equal to 1 by h, that is order of group, summation of all terms including chi I r into chi j r, where one of them component has to be a reducible and other has to be an irreducible component. And once we do it, it helps a lot. And very soon you will get familiarized with the idea that A1 prime comes once in the entire mathematical expression. A2 prime is seemingly not contributing anything and it is 0. Even E prime has shown that when you do the practice, you get 1. And it can be further shown that the rest of the irreducible components contribute nothing. So your expression is nothing, but all of them are 0. So there is no A1 prime, no A2 prime, no E double prime, etc. What are the components is A1 prime and E prime only. So our result tells us that we have the even A1 prime and E prime are the representation. And if we follow the character table for the same, now we are left with A1 prime and E prime. When you talk about A1 prime and E prime, the things that comes to your mind is, now here if you say that A1 prime, it is completely symmetric, so it is about s orbital or x square plus y square and z square. When you talk about E prime, it talks about x and y, so either you can have a px or py plane, or in terms of d symmetry, it can be a dx square minus square or dxy symmetry and so on. The point is, when you talk about the various aspects of that same A1 prime and E prime, symmetric consideration tells us that A1 prime is equivalent to S, E prime is equivalent to Px and Py, while other possibility is dx square minus y square and dxy. But as we know that in BF3 molecule there is no involvement of d orbital because they are very high energy. Therefore, it is quite logical that we see that s and px and py combine to give an sp2 kind of hybridization in the molecule of boron halide. This is the idea that which orbitals are involved in mixing that can qualitatively also assumed. But in terms of quantitative, in terms of quantum mechanical calculations, also this can be simplified. The three equivalent sp2 hybrid orbitals now may be represented as sp2-1, that is some constant c11, 2x, 2px, and 2py. Similarly, second orbital that is equivalent to c21 and c22 and c23, etc. Similarly, you have c31, c32, and c33 with the wave functions as psi2s, psi2px, and psi2py for three different hybrid orbitals of sp21, sp22, sp23 types. And if we want to show in terms of the matrices, in terms of matrix notations, we have keep them in matrix. You have something like this. If you manipulate this, then it can be further said that if we want to change these positions in terms of psi2s, psi2px, and psi2py, this obviously c11 and this expression is going to be divided by this factor. So this is getting actually inverged. So this has got an inversion here at this point. And while now these parameters have been here, so psi sp21, psi sp22, psi sp23 in terms of the wave functions that can be demonstrated. And if you are writing an inverse of matrix, it means simply changing rows into columns. So this is a pictorial depiction when you see that there are A type of atoms and B type of atoms described carrying a sigma 1, sigma 2, and sigma 3 kind of bonds, which are of course sp2 type. Further doing a bit of mathematics. Now we are actually not going into the concept of developing the SALC here because we have described elsewhere. But when you develop it, you get the equation 1 upon root 3 psi 1 plus psi 2 plus psi 3 and 1 upon root 6 2 psi 1 minus psi 2 minus psi 3, and for E prime again because it's going to generate two values, so 1 by root 2 psi 2 minus psi 3. So in terms of hybrid orbitals centered on atom A, we get an equation that is 1 by root 3 psi sp2-1, psi sp2-2, and psi sp2-3, all of them added collectively, and the same is true for the other values also, psi sp2-1, sp2-2, and we are doing simple manipulation as described above. This is simply extended to SALC. Now we have this equation, and psi 2s is equal to 1 by root 3 of psi sp21, psi sp22, and psi sp23. And similarly to in terms of 2pxa, we have this equation. In terms of 2py, we have this normalized state of equation. Once we do it, again putting them into matrix notation, and if we keep doing this matrix notation terms, if you want to talk in terms of hybrid orbital, then we'll have to set the other matrix to the denominator. That will cause the inverse of the matrix. So you have sp21, sp2, sp23 that is equal to inverse of these, that is row is transformed into a column, and you get this. So finally, in terms of the matrix notation, we get something like this, and this is done, then we can actually develop the three equations which are most important in terms of hybridization. That sp21 is 1 by root 3 psi 2s plus 2 by root 6 psi 2px. Psi sp22 is 1 by root 3 psi 2s 1 by root 6 psi 2px plus 1 by root 2 psi 2py. And in terms of third equation, psi sp23, that is 1 by root 3 psi 2s minus 1 by root 6 psi 2px and 1 by root 2 psi 2py. So this is how we have generated three equations, three hybrid orbitals, three wave functions that describe the entire bonding, and that too using a concept of symmetry and SALC. Now, otherwise, you need to have a more vigorous quantum mechanical calculations. So this is for all now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.